to Anime Apocalypse, where a major weeb tries to turn his two friends into weebs like himself. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and things they say will be opinions and should not be perceived as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Anime Apocalypse, the show where I try to turn my two friends into weebs like myself.
We here at Anime Apocalypse would like to let you know that your waifu is trash, no matter who she is.
I'm Lane.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Nathaniel.
I'm so glad you did that. I'm so glad. Oh, man. Yeah, guys,
All right.
your guys' waifus are trash. Every single one of them. But, yeah, we, guys, kind of piggybacking off last week, I gave you guys a treat last week. You guys voted it.
Are you going
very
to switch
high.
it back again after watching one
No,
good anime?
No,
He's
no,
going
no.
to be like, today we're watching...
No, actually, today, guys, we are watching High School DxD.
I
I'm
know.
just kidding.
my
I'm kidding. I'm
God.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
How?
We aren't doing it. I promise we're not doing it.
I was about to say, how are we doing the High School DxD before JoJo's?
We're not.
And
Okay.
unfortunately, I watched it already.
But yeah, last week we gave you one. I thought it was very good. You guys seemed to really enjoy it. But yeah, they announced the second season. Kinda, hence why we did that one. So
Mhm.
kind of doing the same thing.
I know what it is.
Spy Family.
Do you
Spike's
know
Family.
what it is now? It is.
I know what it is.
It's not Spy Family. But a show that I thoroughly enjoy. It is on my S tier. For my tier list.
Never
I
looked at it again.
Maybe I don't know what it is.
I watched it pretty recently. But they just came out with a second season. The first episode actually aired a couple days ago, July 4th.
Oh, no.
Of Godot season 2. So this anime came out back in 2017, and there wasn't any announcement of season 2 or season 3 or anything being continued, even though it was very popular. But finally, after 5 years, right? After a 5-year wait, they announced it, and it has started coming out. They did announce a season 2 and a season 3. This show is based off of a light novel. Geez, English. It is based off of a light novel instead of a manga. But I thoroughly enjoy it. This week we are going to be covering the 2017 hit anime Classroom of the Elite.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
So
That's what I thought it was initially. And then you
Yep.
said that season 2 is starting to come out. I thought it was Rent a Girlfriend. I was about to
Oh,
cry.
God.
Nope. So we're gonna be doing this one. It's another non-romance. So
Yes.
lucky you guys. I figured you guys might like this one a decent amount. Because it is it's another kind of psychological show. There's a little bit of drama, and I don't know for sure, Nate, if you've seen it, but it kind of gives me like Death Note vibes, but not with the death. Like the main character is kind of like Light or L, very intelligent characters, and they kind of use that to their advantage. But yeah, it's a school anime. But the best way I can kind of describe it is our main character, Ayano Koji, Kiyotaka. I butchered that. He's our main character, and then we have another main character, Horikita Suzune. She's the second main character. Both play really big roles to the show. But the best way I can kind of describe it is it's kind of like an Assassination Classroom kind of style, where like the A class is like the top dogs, like they basically run the school, like they are the top people, and the D class, or an Assassination Classroom, E class or whatever, but this is the D class. They are the lowest of the low. So normally the problem kids and the guys that guys and girls that aren't really good at school or don't choose not to study. But this is a little bit different. This is the best school in the country, and some say even the world, at least for this show. But basically, this school, everybody lives on campus. It's on like a secure like island, and these kids are given allowances, kind of every. I think it's every month. Could be every week. I think it's every month. Could be mistaken. You know, we warn you guys at the beginning that false information, but they're given money based on an amount set by the tasks and what class you're in. So A class, obviously, they're the A class. They get the most amount of money. B class, second, you know, and so forth. You can complete tasks and do good on tests to earn more money and also earn class points, which therefore move your class up, and you can knock other classes down, but it's like a class effort. It's not a person effort. So like an individual can't get moved up to a different class. The whole class has to get moved up. So the class has to work together to get class points to move up. But that's basically what the show is about, is basically the A class doesn't want to get knocked out. They're like really, really far ahead of everybody because they're like the best, you know? And then everybody else is making their way up. But our main character here, he's kind of, you don't learn a whole lot, but he's kind of like a science experiment. And this man is very, very intelligent, and he doesn't want to show people because he doesn't want to be perceived as like dangerous or like a problem. So, but this man is super, super smart, and you will see that in this show. But I definitely think you guys will enjoy this show because, again, it's not romance, but it definitely can take your mind for a loop for sure. But based on that, have you guys heard anything about it, or you guys seemed a little intrigued, or?
Everything I've heard about it was from you, so.
Okay.
And I think the breakdown that you just gave is kind of what you told me before. It does sound interesting. It kind of reminds me of Kakaguri.
The betting
poker,
one. Yep.
yeah, the casino one. Yeah.
Yep.
Where it's like, you know, these people up here kind of own you if you lose to them, basically. But yeah, so it sounds interesting to me. I'm definitely looking forward to it since it's not another romance. But
I'll save
good.
those for in a couple weeks or next week. You know, we'll see.
No.
We'll see. We'll see how the cards
I
are dealt.
swear,
We'll see.
you're actually going to give us DxD before we watch JoJo's.
I swear to
I
God.
will not watch High School DxD before JoJo's. I will promise you that. I will promise you
Okay.
that.
That's good to know. That's good to know. But
But yeah, Aaron,
yeah.
what are you thinking from? I don't think I ever described this show to you, but what do we
no.
what are we thinking?
This is the first way you described it. It sounds good. I will say I did just try and see where it's watch it, where I can watch that. Found where I can watch that based on the screenshots. So there's something you're leaving out, and there's something called fan service. There's way too much of it based on these screenshots. What are you doing to us again? Literally, I mean, we're not gonna see it, but I already see a screenshot of a scene of a woman in a bikini. Like this is that we're not gonna see an episode, but like, what are you doing?
I will say that there is fan service ish.
Why?
Yes. I don't know why they do it. I can't tell you. I will say the first time I went through watching it, like I don't look for that. I don't look for that shit. So I didn't notice a whole lot, but I recommended it to Colin, and Colin said that him and Lexi were watching it, and like Lexi like noticed it right away, and I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even recognize it because it's not something like I'm sitting down and just like straight up looking for. It's just like I kind of just watching the show for the plot, but it's like
Yeah, that's what high school DxD fans say though.
I'm sure. That's terrible. That's terrible. But I don't really look for it. But yeah, there is a little bit of fan service. But let's try not to focus on it too much because I don't think there's a ton of it. But kind of focus on like the tasks and kind of what's going on with the story. But that's gonna be kind of what I got for you. But any guesses on what we're looking like on Mal?
I would say in the 400s.
In the
I think
400s?
it's gonna be. I think
Okay.
it's gonna be like an 8.2.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what the others were. For some reason I'm feeling 500s.
Okay. It is currently sitting at a measly 7.86. So
Ooh.
not great, but for
Oof.
mouse standards, still pretty okay. Not great, not bad. But it is currently ranked 791, so pretty
Oh,
close to
damn.
800s. But it is has less than a million with 941,000 votes. But don't let that scare you away because it is still a really good show. Now there is only 12 episodes, 13 if you want to count the first episode of season 2. I will only be making you guys watch the first 5 episodes. So we will be covering those. But yeah, I got no more. Unless you guys want to know more. But unless you guys are ready, we can go and start watching some Classroom of the Elite.
Sounds good to me.
All
Hell
right,
yeah.
let's do it.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. From here on out, there will be massive spoilers, adult topics, hot takes, and far too many fan service complaints. Remember to buckle up and enjoy the ride.
And we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the hit 2017 anime Classroom of the Elite. Guys, I'm sure you guys enjoyed that very, very thoroughly because I love that show, man. It's a really fun show. But
This
you
show.
you guys aren't here to listen about my thoughts. You guys are here to listen about these two thoughts. So I'll transition it over to Nate because I know Nate has a lot to say about this week. So guys, if you love this show, you guys better buckle
I'm
up.
just gonna start by saying the views of Nathaniel are not matching those of the other two in this
Don't come after
podcast.
us. Do not come after us. Everything Nate
Did
says
you
is
just
only
say
been-
my name, Nathaniel?
Nathan.
No, I said Nathaniel.
No, you didn't.
I
say
didn't-
Nathaniel.
I was gonna say
Anyway.
Nate, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah, pick one or the other.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, I'm going to start off by saying that this show sucked major donkey dick.
No, Nate. This show
This
is
show-
not that bad.
This show might literally be the worst television series I've ever watched in my life.
Oh my god.
It's not interesting. The plot feels like any other like school plot that like has some wacky twist thrown in. The chemistry and like the characters, the 3 main characters, like the dude, the main like emo girl, and then the energetic girl, same exact fucking dynamic as the 3 characters from Snafu, which we watched like 3-4 weeks ago. It's the same exact fucking dynamic. Like there's the 2 emo, like I don't give a shit about anybody characters being the guy with the black hair, same as Snafu, the girl with the black hair, same as Snafu, and then the girl with the lighter colored hair that's very energetic. And Snafu.
Okay.
This, oh my goodness, it's hard to like try to even like make myself remember the show because I tried to block it out that fucking quickly. The show. The show's not good.
Nate, I had a feeling you gave up on the show after like half an episode.
No. After the first episode, I'm like, all right, like it's a lot the same as like Assassination Classroom. You know, the dynamics exactly the same as Snafu, but like, you know, I've never seen something where it's like they have the ability to like, you know, jump to the next rank of like, you know, they're in the Class D. It's like it's possible for them to become Class C, but like it's a group effort instead of like one person. Because you know I've seen other
We
shows
found
where
out
it's like
for later on that actually changes.
I don't fucking care about what happens after the 5 episodes because I'm never gonna fucking watch anything after the 5 episodes, Aaron.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't care.
Anyway, it's a class effort. So instead of like, you know, I'm great at my grades, like I'm being an upstanding citizen, I get to move to Class C. They're like, no, you're fucking stuck where you're at. You know, help your classmates. Be a good classmate, and then you can like advance to Class C, Class B, Class A. But like the big kicker is that it's like these main characters are in Class D, and no Class D has ever like become Class C. Like Class C has gone up to B, B's become A, A's fallen down to C, whatever, fucking whatever, right? But D has never been anything other than D. So, you know, whole entire anime, from what I understand from the first 5 episodes, is going to be like Class D trying to, you know, make their way up the ranks. But they got like fucking degenerates in Class D, which is why they're fucking Class D. But, okay. I should let Aaron talk before I keep talking and getting
Absolutely.
even more trouble than I probably already have.
Absolutely,
So-
just ripping this anime to shreds.
Yeah. Aaron, you go before we start talking about episode by episode.
All right, one sec. Let me do something here real quick. All right, and I have done this physically. While I give my synopsis on why I think I did have to mute Nathaniel, because I have a feeling he'll interject at any given moment here. So I actually did enjoy it. I did, however, see in the first 5 episodes, like, yeah, the big issue, the fan service. That's one thing that we noticed from the get-go, that there was a ton of it, and I
haven't even
for sure was like, okay, I'm going to try to look past this. I'm going to try to look past this. And I will say, the first 5 episodes, it was a slow start. I feel like it really took a while for the anime to actually kick off and actually take roll. I did end up finishing it more so just because I noticed there was a cliffhanger at the end of 5. I didn't really want to leave that be. I wanted to kind of actually see what would happen in 6, so I just actually went through, watched all 12, 13, how many ever episodes there were. I did notice that the anime does progress and actually finally does starts happening, and it does actually kind of pull me in a little bit towards the end there, and I was hoping to watch season 2. I didn't realize season 2 wasn't even out yet, but I overall, it wasn't bad. The main character, Ayana Konji, let me see if I can say this right. Ayana Koji, he is just like this very timid, timid in quotes, because we all know, at least Lane and I know, he's more than that. He just does. He gives off less than what the anime lets him, or what he wants them.
He doesn't
to know.
show people his true personality.
Yeah, and it was weird seeing that, but yeah, he's one of those kids in school that is just trying to idly just let things happen, trying to get all 4 years done of high school without having to really put too much effort into shit. And then there's the other chick that that Nathaniel had called the emo chick, Harikita. She's actually the student council president's sister, and he wants nothing to do with her in that school, and she's just trying to prove herself to him and everything. And then there's a third person in this whole trifecta, Kushida. She's very bubbly and wants to be friends with everyone. But of course, we find out later on she has an alter ego that I still have I have no idea what the reasoning is, or I'm assuming we'll find out further in the season 2. But overall, I feel like I enjoyed it. I will be watching season 2. Give me your Crunchyroll, Lane. I will watch it.
I
but
will give you that.
yeah, I will watch it. But overall, yeah, I was actually kind of looking forward to season 2, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, so we definitely got 2 different opinions for sure. One that liked and one that absolutely hates it more than anything in this entire world. But if you guys want to start with the episode by episode synopsis, we can kind of get over that. And Nate can kind of let his anger out, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I'll take the first one because the first episode was the only one I was slightly okay with. So, basically, show opens up. They're on a bus going to this like big school, which is supposed to be like the most prestigious school in all of like Japan or Tokyo or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They intro it with like I can't remember his name, main character.
Ayano Koji.
Ayano.
Koji, yeah, I'll call him Koji. If I forget, I apologize. That's how forgettable this show is. Anyway, so Koji's like on the bus, and you see this like douchebag that's like blonde. He's in Koji's class later on. That's like he won't give up his seat to this old lady because he's like, there's a precedent in this country, and I'm more important than that little old lady. And you learn what the main character is like right from the get-go, because he just does not want to get involved with this. And the bubbly, energetic chick, Erin, what's her name? Kushida is like the one that's like asking people. It's like, hey, will anyone take or give this old lady their seat? And then Koji looks at a black-haired chick. What's her name?
Her name is Harikita.
Kita.
He doesn't
So-
even care.
He looks over at her, and she's like not giving a shit either. And he's like, "Oh, cool. Neither of us give a shit." So that's what kind of person she is. And she gets all up in his face when they stop the bus, and it's like, "Why were you looking at me?" And it's like, "Because I could tell you didn't give a shit, just like I didn't give a shit." So cool. Neither of us give shits. And then like the three of them start talking. Same exact dynamic as Snafu, as I already said. So in the first episode, like the first big thing that they learn once classes start is like first day of class, their teacher tells all of them that it's like at this prestigious school, like you never get to leave, but it's like this huge, it's basically like its own small city. There's like malls, there's shops, there's restaurants, there's all sorts of stuff. There's like theaters. There's all sorts of stuff in this school. It's like its own little town off the edge of Tokyo. And each month they're given, is it 100,000 yen?
Yep.
I believe. And it's like, at first I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. I did the math. 100,000 yen is $700. Like, these students are tweaking out of their mind that they're getting $700 a month. I make $700 in like one paycheck working for Men's Warehouse. Like,
It's completely different atmospheres. It's anime, bro. Come on.
every 2 weeks I make $700, and these kids are tweaking out of their mind that it's like they get it once a month, and I'm like, these poor children, they don't know what the real world is like.
I mean, everything's also much cheaper, I guess, in Japan too. Like a lot of things cost like 1,000 yen.
Yeah, and also like I know like a few years ago my sister went to Japan, and she said the easiest way to do it is like every like 1,000, I believe it was, is like close to like $1.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like technically like $100,000. Like maybe even when my sister was there, it was like relative to like $1,000 a month, but like due to like the economies of like each of our countries at the moment, like it's down to like $700. That could be because I did like the current trade scale thing for yen to American money. But yeah, so it's like, I don't know, that much money a month. Like, I guess also if I put myself in the shoes of like a freshman in high school getting $700 a month, that probably would have actually been pretty big now that I think of it. Anyway, so it's like they learn this, and then he like is being very savvy with his money. He goes to like a store though to buy like, daily needs like shampoo, like laundry detergent, like that kind of deal. And he notices in the front of the store that it's like there's this bin of like other like daily essentials that is like you get 3 free. I can't remember if it's every month or every week.
I don't remember.
I think it was every month. And he's like, well, that's weird. Why are they giving out freebies of like low end like daily essentials if we all get like, I'm just gonna say $700 a month because that's how my brain interprets it better than like 100,000 yen a month. So I'm gonna say $700 a month. And then like the other main character chick, Kita or Horikita, something like that.
Yeah.
She like comes in, they have a little discussion. I can't remember what the discussion was about. They leave, and then they see, I believe his name was Pseudo, the guy with like the red hair. Yeah.
Yep.
They see him like acting like a shithead right outside, and they're like, huh, that's weird. Then you learn about the caste system that this that this school has, where it's like D's below C, C's below B, B's below A, but like you can work yourself up to become better. And they like, I guess I missed a part here. So basically during this first month, everyone's sleeping at school, like no one's paying attention in classes, people are like on their phone, people are talking to each other, people are sleeping. Like no one in this class or class D is paying attention to the teacher. And then at the end of the episode, that's when you learn about the caste system, where it's like, because they were acting like shitheads the whole entire time, in and out of the classroom, like you saw with Pseudo, like kicking over stuff. They're always being monitored, and like it's kind of like social credit, like what China has, where it's like if you're a good person, like you have a better life, basically.
Mhm.
And the teacher basically tells them like, yeah, you all got 0 points this like month, so you all get $0 this month. So now like everyone, because they're freshmen with $700 a month, has blown their whole entire wad on like video games, um, you know, new phone, new like stuff they don't need. Like everyone spent all their money on this stuff. So now that they have $0, is like everyone's like, oh no, like how am I gonna live for the next month? But like our main character, Yoji Koshi.
Yeah, it was Koji. Yeah, is what
Koji,
you
thank
called
you.
him.
Our main character Koji, like he saved his money because he was like being smart about it, and then also Horikita, she also saved her money. But and it's like, yeah, they didn't do the work, they didn't get the money, and that's kind of where episode 1 ends, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
but yeah, so that's kind of my rundown of episode 1. I didn't even. I'll touch on the fan service in a little bit, probably like episode 3, because I think that was the one with the fucking swim scene. But yeah,
Yeah.
See, it
I'll
doesn't
let
start
Aaron.
out bad. The first episode's really good. The
There
the
was still
premise
a lot of thigh
the
shots
the
and like,
premise of the
Yeah.
show
big
is
old
good.
titties.
The story
But-
is good. I don't know how you're saying it's bland because it's good. It's good. There's not another anime that does what this anime is doing. There is.
Anyway,
I mean,
Aaron.
if you go further, I do agree. But yeah, episode 1 though, like Nathaniel was saying, it pretty much like kind of gave you the premise as to how this is all working, kind of what to expect here in terms of how the class is gonna be. Kind of shows you that you don't just get this money without consequence. You actually have to work for this shit. It's like the real world. But yeah, I do agree. I know he said he wasn't going to talk about it right away, but the fan service it really shows itself in episode 1, and I will say over time it does get uncomfortable seeing how much there is, especially having a pool
Yeah.
episode in 2, and then later on you during their summer vacation there's just more pool scenes. And I don't remember if episode 2 is the one where they had the guys plotting some stupid shit, but that was also weird. But back on episode 1. The story does start ramping up. Based on the first episode, I noticed it was like kind of starting slow, especially with the whole scene of them on the bus. But it kind of gave them a premise. One thing that Nathaniel did kind of forget about, or I didn't, I guess not forget about it, was like it kind of was said in episode 1 as like, oh, it's not as big of a deal. But later on, you find out something that the teacher says is very powerful, and it actually has a lot of meaning. The whole the caste system of, hey, you get this money and you can buy absolutely anything in this school. That doesn't mean
like
this
episode
product.
4.
What? I mean,
That's not
episode 1.
important until episode 4.
No, you're right. Yeah, it isn't. But yeah, you find that out that yeah, you can buy absolutely anything. Again, I'm making that aware because that's
Yeah.
something you'll find out about more in the later episodes, and you even find out more actually towards the end of the actual first season. But I'll say episode 1 was good overall, good start, good layout. Episode 2 is where things kind of get weird because there's the whole pool scene. I don't have a lot of notes on that because I didn't really focus on that episode as much, just because I feel like it's not as necessary. I think it was a filler almost. But I actually don't entirely remember what happened in episode 1. I just know that they go to the pool and you find out there's a pool. And I remember there was a portion where Kanji, Ayana Kanji, and Harikita were talking at the pool side while Kushida's too busy trying to make friends still. And they're just trying to find out ways that they can get better and actually study and try and actually get stuff together. I remember, if I remember correctly, this is the episode that Harikita's trying to actually get people together to study and make study groups and stuff. And Pseudo, of course, him being the cocky idiot he is, he's like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. Kind of just steps out and everything. And Kushida just wants nothing more than to be with be Harikita's friend, but it just that doesn't work out either. But I'm pretty sure that's most episode 2 is just trying to plot a way to get their money back because they didn't get shit in the first month that they were there. I think that's about right, Nathaniel?
Yep. So second episode. Are you done, Aaron?
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Okay, cool. Second episode. Most of my notes for this episode are just complaining about fan service. The first note I have is just shockingly meh.
Oh,
You learn more about the
nice.
caste system, or I guess it's called the S system, is the technical name for it. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. You learn more about the S system as the beginning of it. There's a whole entire pool scene, which way too much fan service.
There was a lot of physics in
and
that
then-
episode too.
Yeah. But one of my biggest gripes with this episode is somehow Lane has figured out how to every single week so far make us watch a show that has some form of weird sibling shit. And this week was
That was
especially
that
bad
episode, wasn't it?
because there was like a whole
Yeah.
entire scene where it's like her older brother just corners her in like an alleyway, and he does that like typical like TV show thing when like creepers are being creepers, where it's like the girl's like pressed up against the wall and the guy's just like hovering over her with his like hand up against the wall above her, and he's just talking down like her like yeah. But anyway, I hated that, and Lane just loves making us watch shows with the weird sibling shit. So.
Hey, I'm not the one creating
That's
the shows,
interesting.
all right? I'm not the one
I know.
creating the shows.
But and then like after the weird sibling shit, like main character or like fuck, what is his name? Kanji.
Koji is what you call
Koji,
him.
yes, Koji. He shows that he's only like using 2% of his power because like he gets into or like the student body president, the one that's the other girl's brother.
Yep.
Like he like tries to fight Koji, and then Koji like just ducks out of the way and kind of like shits on him. So yeah, that's kind of all I got for episode 2. I remember it just being meh and really not caring. I do think that's the one where it's like they try to get everyone to study together
Mhm.
so that they can like actually pass the midterm because like they have some shitters in their class that are like bringing down the curve basically. But so I'll hop into episode 3. Episode 3 is the one after the midterm, or is it the one with the midterm? I can't remember.
This is the one. This is the one with and after. It has kind of like they show what everyone got.
Right, yeah, that's right. Because everyone passed at the end of episode 2, then episode 3 is showing how everyone passed.
Yeah.
So basically, what
Besides
happened?
one, but yeah.
Basically, Koji, like, once again, as Aaron was saying, it's like they point out that it's like anything can be bought in this school, like not just like everyday essentials, like anything can be bought. So, main character for Koji goes to a third year, so like basically America's senior, and he's like, hey, you were in class D, or you still are in class D, but you were in class D. Do you have like the test results from when you took the like freshman year midterm so that we can like look at the questions and like basically cheat? And the third year, I if I remember correctly, he didn't want to cheat, but like they offered him like a shitload of money, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. So they get it, and then everyone like he basically gives out these questions to everyone, and he's like, here's the questions that are going to be on the test. Research these questions. I don't think he gave them the answers. He was just like, here's the questions. Research the questions. Like just memorize the stuff. Actually research this stuff, and then we'll be able to all pass. And like the thing is that like there were like the people that like got a really good score. They were like 96%, 92%, whatever. But then there were still the people that were like just hovering above passing. And it's like, I'm sorry, but like if you're given the questions, you have time to like look up the questions and find the right answers. Like I get that some people are, you know, the lazy fucks are still going to be lazy fucks. I get that. But still, like, they have time. Like, they're at least going to do a quick Google more than likely and be like, you're not going to have these people that are just hovering above passing. And then, like, one guy didn't pass who was pseudo, which was the guy that was, like, being a shithead in the first episode. He was also a shithead.
He got 39% when we found out that the passing grade for that test was 40%.
Was 40, yeah, which is unrealistic, but okay.
I mean, some schools still do that actually, like Europe.
40%?
Yeah, Europe.
I
D is 50%, or a C is 50%, I think.
What the heck? I wish, bro.
Yeah.
I wish. I thought D's like in America were like 60.
Yeah, they
They
are.
are.
They're much lower, and like I
Time
think
to move to
England,
Europe, I
England
guess.
schools are much lower.
Anyway, so he was 1% like below what or what he needed to be to pass. So Koji, like their teacher goes on a smoke break and it's like, congratulations, you all passed except for Pseudo, so you guys still get fucking $0.
And he was supposed to get expelled.
Yeah, and then Pseudo was gonna get expelled, and like at first, like some of the characters were like, you know what, he's bringing down the class anyway. If he gets expelled, like easier for us. But then it's like Koji and Horikita, sorry. They are like talking to each other, and they're like, well, yes, but what if like there's hidden rules we don't know about, and like later on, if we try to make it to Class A, they're gonna be like, oh, you can't make it to Class A because you had one person get expelled, and you have to have no expulsions to get to Class A. They're like, well, we can't let them get expelled. So, once again, with the whole entire, you can buy anything on the campus. Koji and Horikita go up to the ceiling or the roof while their teacher's on a smoke break, and they're like, if anything can be bought, let us buy that last percentage point to get Pseudo to a passing grade so that he doesn't get expelled. And the teacher's like, well, that's going to cost you a lot. It's going to be like 100,000 points. And then our main character's like, oh no, I don't have that much. And then Horikita shows up and she's like, I'll help you. And then together they pay for the 1 point, which means I just spent $700 on 1 point.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
I get that it's like, we don't know
economy
what it could
sucks.
be if someone... Exactly. We don't know, like, what it could be, if he gets expelled or not, but still, it's like, you just spent $700 on that. You could spend $700 on, like, a new PlayStation 5. Come on.
Like, come
That
on.
was a bad-
come on now.
That was a bad analogy, but whatever. But yeah, so they spend 100,000 points, buy the 1 point, and then everyone's happy, and then they are using his room as like the hangout room for whatever reason, or Koji's room as the hangout room for whatever reason, and then the energetic girl, or Koshi, or something like that.
Kushida.
Kushida, thank you. Kushida, like, she's like, so, are you, like, interested in Horikita? And Koji is like, not really, no. And she's like, okay. And then leaves all sad, and it's like, oh, she's in love with him. That's cute. And then they keep walking. They end up at, like, the pier, and he's creepily stalking her from behind, basically. And he, like, just sees her, and she, like, starts kicking the shit out of, like, a fence. And she's like, I hate Horikita so much, that dumb bitch. Like, I just want her to die. And then he, like snaps a twig or something like that. The old trope of, like, snapping a twig and people being like, who's there?
Yeah.
But then she turns around and sees him, and she's like, how much did you see? And he's like, enough. And she's like, if you ever tell anyone, I'll kill you. And
No,
then...
she says, I will tell the entire school you raped me.
Oh, yeah. And then she, like, makes him touch her tit and whatnot, which is fucking weird. Thanks for the fan service, Lane.
I told you there was some fan service. Again, I will preference this. I did not write or create the show. All right.
You're making me watch it, though.
I'm watching it, of course.
But yeah, so she's like, I'm gonna ruin your life if you ever tell anyone about this. And then she instantly, like, goes back to being the energetic girl and is like, coolio, see you later. But yeah, that's the end of episode 3. I like, at this point in the show, I was already like, do I really have to watch 2 more episodes? Because this show is so bad. But anyway, I'll let Aaron take it again.
Yeah, so I will say the reason he was following Kushida was because she had left her phone in his room, so he had to give it back to her. But so he was actually going to give it back to her, but he catches her when she does her whole "I have a second personality" thing, which was weird. I still don't understand the fucking second personality. I know we will. I know technically they'll probably show it in like the next season, or it's probably actually in the manga as to what the fuck that is. But they don't actually preface it at all in season one, which is
you don't see I'm caught up for season
so you
2, and I still
watched all 3 episodes already for this.
have not seen it.
Yeah, okay, so they still fucking put it. Okay, man, that was weird. The one other thing I said was one of my notes was this was when Ayana Koji pretty much said, "Oh, I gave those notes to Kushida and like, hey, tell everyone that you gave them to them, or you got them from the third year. Don't tell them I did it." And she did, and for some reason there was one guy that everyone was so excited about, like about that and everything, that there was one guy that looked like he was affected by poison from like a Pokemon, but about how happy he was. It was fucking weird, but like yeah, they everyone was so happy for it, and everyone was so happy for her, and then yeah, they all fucking ended up passing besides that one guy, because like a lot of them got like 50s, 60s, 70s, a couple 90s, and then of course fucking the pseudo with 39. But that's again, like Nathaniel was saying, that's where we really see it come into play, that hey, you can buy anything in this whole thing. I guess one thing I will say, I don't know if Lane wants me to say it, about the whole there's another thing we find out later on, and that entails that whole you can buy anything. Turns out you can actually buy, as an individual, your way to Class A. You actually don't have to be.
Spoilers, young man.
Yeah, you're not gonna fucking watch it, bro.
You're not gonna watch it. It's alright.
But yeah, you actually can buy your way into Class A.
It's a ridiculous amount.
It's like a fucking million or something, or something higher than that.
20 million.
They preference 20 million.
They preference it in season 2 as well. Yeah, it costs 20 million, and I think the person that has like the highest amount is at like 3 million, and they're in Class B. I think.
Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, that was pretty much episode 3 of the whole test, and everyone trying to actually get better, or trying to actually improve as a class finally. So everyone's sort of getting together. Trying to think what happens in episode 4. I do know we kind of get introduced to. I don't know if this is that episode, but we get introduced to Class B, because the Class B, I guess, leader almost. I don't remember what her name is exactly. Do you remember what it is, Lane? Redhead or orange-haired chick from Class B.
From Class B, is it?
I don't fucking remember.
Ichino's?
It might be. I have a hard time memorizing names in any anime, unless it's like Naruto or some shit. But we meet her, and we also find out that Class B's or 1B's teacher is just an absolute drunk. She just drinks way too fucking much alcohol. But I think that's also the episode that we really get introduced to her. We also get introduced to Sakura, the chick. I think that's when they start actually introducing Sakura as this like very like quiet teacher, or quiet student. I think that's also I actually don't remember what happens in episode 4, but because I've watched the entire thing, so I'm lost. I don't know if this is the episode when Ichina or whatever has to deal with another classmate liking her. I don't know if this is the episode that Sakura has to deal with the camera situation, or I don't remember what happens in episode 4.
Oh, I'll take it then if Aaron doesn't remember. So basically, very beginning of the episode, from what I remember, is that Koji helps a Class B girl. I can't remember which girl it was. It's the blonde one. I can't remember her name at all.
Yeah. That's the one that Lane said the name of, I think.
Yeah. But, like, she needs help because, like, she got a love letter from someone in her class being like, I want to be with you. And then she, like, asked Koji to, like, come and pretend to be her boyfriend so that, you know, this other person won't try to get with her anymore. So, like, same exact thing as we saw in Bunny Girl Senpai. And then, but in this one, main character's like, yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to fucking figure that out yourself, because I'm not gonna tell anyone that, like, we're dating, because that's your problem. You do you, don't get me involved. Which, I mean, my man for doing that. But, and then, like, the person shows up, and I was actually very surprised by this, because it's like a girl from the same class is, like, talking to this other girl. Which it's like, when did this anime come out, Lane?
Back in 2017.
2017.
2017. I mean, already, like, even if they did that nowadays in Japan, I feel like it would be very, very progressive. But, like, even, like, in 2017, it was probably even more of, like, a huge thing and, like, probably got them in a lot of trouble with certain people over there. I mean, something like that would even get them in trouble in America. And, like, I feel like we're not cool. Like, we're very set in our ways, but I feel like we're not even as set in our ways as, like, Japan is. So. I was very surprised with that. I appreciated like that they had something like that because like it's good to like show that kind of stuff. But I was very surprised by that. Um, and then other big thing in episode 4 is that Class C, so the one right above where they're at, are like a bunch of the basketball players on that team are really like setting up like this whole entire fiasco to make it look like Pseudo like attacked all these other basketball players in like a in the hallway and that he like assaulted them basically. So they're trying to get him expelled again because they're like if he gets expelled that's going to look bad at Class D and then we don't have to worry about Class D ever surpassing us basically. One of my notes is worst fan service so far in that episode, but no. I think it's when you like look at the pictures that Sakura, whatever the name is,
Yeah.
like the picture she's taking because she's basically like a cam girl. And yeah, that was insane, and I was like, wow, okay. But and then end of the episode is basically they're looking for witnesses to the crime that Pseudo supposedly committed so that they can get him off the hook because everything is pointing to Pseudo having gone in and like just kicked the shit out of these other basketball players and then like getting away with it until the basketball players are like, this guy kicked the shit out of us. But yeah, so there's I think out of the 5, episode 4 was probably the least important because it was kind of a intermediary episode. It was like moving from one thing to the next thing, basically.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a super important episode, but I don't remember all too much. Like, but Aaron doesn't remember it at all, and like I have very few notes, so I'll.
Yeah, I just have one note saying the fuck is this main character? He's got so many secrets and skills. I'm assuming Ayana Koji. I think that's someone else. But yeah,
That's the main character. Iona Koji,
Yeah.
that's the main character.
Yeah, for some reason I thought I was saying like some presidential name or some shit. But Ayana Koji, he must have done something that like shows that he's got fast fucking reflexes. I don't remember what it was. He of course did that the episode before when he stopped fucking Harukida's brother from abusing her. I don't remember what happened, but that and then I just said the school's corrupted because the fucking it's Class C being dickheads towards Class D and all that shit. Oh, and I think that's also when we learn about Class A having like that the one chick that's like kind of the queen of their class or whatever, and how there's a giant beef between certain classes now. But yeah, episode 4 was kind of forgettable for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about it either. But I'll go straight into episode 5 then. So basically, what I remember here is that Sakura, like her camera got broken. So then they went to go get it fixed. And I remember there being a lot of fans, or no, I wouldn't even say it's
That's
fan
when they had the
service, it's
creepy
just-
guy that was
it's just
fucking
fucking
there
creepy.
in the place.
Because like the camera guy was just like hitting on Sakura and was like, "Hey, give me your phone number." But yeah, it was fucking weird.
Super creepy.
And then I can't remember if it was Koji or Horikita that like told him to back the fuck off.
I think it was Koji because he is the one that ended up like filling in his phone number and the information instead.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, they took it over and he's like, "No, it has to be hers." And he's like, "Who said, bitch?"
Yeah.
So then that happens. They get the camera fixed. La di da. We're all happy now. They go to a cafe. If I remember correctly, Horikita and oh wow, I can never remember the energetic girl's name.
Koji. Oh wow, God, Kushida.
Kushida. Like they go to the restroom and then it's just Koji and Sakura at the diner, and she's like, "What should I do?" And he basically tells her, you know, do whatever you want. Like, don't let other people control you for who you are. Like, be who you want to be. So basically, what like what's his face and or Rascal, like what he told
Go
the main
Rascal.
character in Bunny Girl Senpai. It's like basically, you do you. Don't be what other people tell you to be. Like whatever you want to do it. You do you, basically. So that's a good message.
Mhm.
All in all, like that was one of the parts I agreed with in the show. Was like, yeah, you do you. And then you learn, or maybe you don't learn that she's an Instagram model in the previous episode. Maybe that's this one because that's
Yeah,
the
that's
one
this
they have
one,
the
yeah.
note on. But yeah, and then into this episode is like there's this whole entire courtroom drama where it's like Class D is going up against Class C, like competing about did Pseudo actually hurt these guys, and basically the big piece of evidence that before the camera comes into play is that this is one basketball guy, Pseudo, versus 3 other basketball guys from Class C. Or I guess there's only one basketball guy, and the other 2 were like buddies of the basketball guy.
Yep.
And they're all big guys, and it's like, yeah, Pseudo's like, a little bit taller than them, but like, do you really think like one guy could have taken on these 3 big guys and like kick the shit out of them? I don't think so. And then Class C comes up with some excuse. I can't remember what it was. And then they then bring in Sakura because why they've been hanging out with her and helping her fix the camera and everything is because she got pictures of the event when it happened, so like they can prove his innocence and whatnot. And then Class C and like student council president are like, but how can you prove it's not Photoshop? And then that's kind of where the episode ends, is the student president being like, there's enough evidence against him, like having done it, but like you can't prove anything. So he's like, and the next episode, same bat time, same bat channel, learn, will Pseudo get off the hook or will he be expelled? The end.
Yeah, I don't
And
know if that was. Actually, I'll let you continue. I had one
big
thing there.
big cliffhanger to the end of the episode. I bet like most people are probably like, I'll watch episode 6, see how this ends. I was just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm done watching these 5 episodes. I'm never watching this show again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how it all resolves. We were told to watch 5 episodes. I watched 5 episodes.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna figure out how it ends.
you're done. See,
Yeah.
Nate, I was hoping that you liked it, would like it, but there was a lot of fan service in it, and I understand that turned you away.
Well, it's like the fan service turned me away, but also just I don't know, just the story. It could be so much more with like the premise it's given, and then it just decides to be the same exact thing as everything else.
Okay.
Like I don't think any of the other shows so far, like I've compared it to like a previous show we've watched, but this one I've compared it to Snafu, I compared it to Rascal.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here to compare to Vinland Saga, so I can't compare it to that one.
Yeah.
It's like I could compare it to like Assassination Classroom, which is one of my favorite animes, and like there's just so many tropes in here. It's like a very tropey anime. I think it's probably the worst tropey anime we've watched so far,
Okay.
where it just uses everything. But anyway,
I can't
Aaron-
win them all.
Yeah,
true.
But one thing I want to touch on with episode 5, Lane, was episode 5 the one where they gave them an technically a not an out, but like, hey, oh, no, that's probably 6, where they said,
Yeah,
hey,
I think there
we'll give
was an
2 weeks.
ultimatum.
It was
Yeah.
one where it's like, we give him 2 weeks of suspension, everyone here else gets 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and then
But-
Hurricane's like, no,
Yeah,
we're gonna find proof and everything. We're gonna find out how this is, and then like, okay, we're just gonna take a recess and come back here tomorrow, type of shit. But one other thing to note about like the whole scene that we saw with the whole camera, where they had to go to the store to or to get it fixed. Yeah, that guy was creepy. We found out about more of him later in episode 6, which I fucking hated that part of the episode. That was very weird.
Yeah.
I'll touch on that a little bit after I finish up with episode 5 here. But one thing when Hurikita and Kushida both leave for the bathroom to go like freshen up everything, we see he's like just analyzing Sakura, and he realizes that like she's more comfortable around him. But that's also just because I think he realizes that she can kind of tell when someone's real and when someone's like two-faced, and I think that's why she's kind of iffy about Kushida, because she realizes Kushida's very fake. With her whole I have a whole I fucking am a bitch motive thing going on. I think that will play a part later on when he's like gets closer to Sakura and everything. I mean it didn't happen at the end of the season, but it did. So it might in season 2. I'm not sure because we also don't know what the fuck is up with Kushida. But yeah, sorry that episode did leave on a cliffhanger. I was one of those guys that did watch episode 6. And I will talk a little bit about it just to kind of give those of you that haven't seen it and did just watch the 5 episodes kind of an idea of what happened. They end up trying to find a way to frame the 3 guys, and what they did was both Ayana Koji and Harakita end up saying they went to the that secret area where like all the like it's kind of like I guess there's science labs in there and like different areas in there. So they're like, look, like there's no cameras in here, and they end up putting fake cameras in that area, and they fake an email to the 3 guys that got their shit kicked out of them. They baited them into meeting Kushida there, who didn't end up going there. It was them 2, and they like kind of they corner them in place, and then they're like, oh, by the way, there's cameras here, and they're like, oh shit, like even if we try and hold our ground here, you're still gonna find out we're guilty just based off the footage, even though there fucking is none. Which I feel like that's stupid because I feel like the guys probably would have noticed that there's not cameras there. I guess they were too focused on Pseudo though, but they and then they try and threaten Harakita. She's like, "You really want to try and threaten me right now?" And there's cameras as as one of the guys is just holding her tie like and holding her close like he's gonna punch her or some shit. And that ended up happening. The whole court scene gets resolved. They're like, "Yay!" And they end up, of course, Ayana Koji being the guy he is. He's like, "Oh yeah, it was Kushida that, or not Kushida, it was Harakita that did all this. I had nothing to do with it. It was definitely not me, even though it clearly fucking was him that kind of resolved the issue." And I think that's also the episode we find out that the student council president is walking with his senator down the hallway, and said, "Oh nope, that's not that episode.
Nope.
That's
I don't
nope."
think so.
This is the episode where he tries slapping him like hitting Ayana Koji in the face, and he just like sidesteps the fuck out of it, and just you just realize that he's intimidated by the student council president is intimidated by Ayana Koji.
Is just a badass, bro.
Yeah, he really is. He actually is fucking more than the anime lets him be. But yeah, what's the last thing? This is the part that I was going to talk about that is fucking gross, and I hated it so much. Is it cuts to a scene of Sakura kind of just walking through the streets and trying to get back to her dorm room. You just hear footsteps in the background and see like cameras. I can see like a shot of someone's feet walking across the ground. She realizes she's being followed. She, of course, doing the typical anime trope thing, walks down an dark alleyway. You turn to find out it's the fucking camera guy stalking her because while he was fixing her camera, he realized that who she is, and he's actually one of her fans. Which is weird because she's 16 and he's an adult. Completely weird.
Okay, pause. You know how many people are on Charlie D'Amelio's TikTok? They're probably like over 40.
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah, it's
I don't know who that
weird, and it
is.
happens in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. But yeah, he ends up cornering her, and he tries, and he's like, "I'm gonna show you how much I love you." Starts trying to strip her and everything, and starts doing some creepy shit.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
I'm so glad I quit watching this show.
I hated it. This is where it ended. This is kind of where the creepy shit ended, though. For the most part, I feel like it got better after that.
It gets better.
It goes away from the fan service after that episode for sure. Besides, I guess the first swim scene after that, but he ends up doing that, and I think the way that Ayana Koji shows up is amazing, because I don't know if it's that I think it was also that episode's, or no, it was I think episode 5. I'm so like twisted on my episodes right now, but I think that episode 5 is also when he told Sakura, "Hey, if you ever need anything, I am there." And then he followed her GPS. That's the only way he was able to actually get to her, because she called him, tried to ask him for help, but the guy fucking caught her the hang up, and it got all freaky and shit. But he shows up, and his camera is like, a sexual assault on a minor is probably not going to do very well for you, as he takes a picture of him doing that. And yeah, I think that was by far my favorite. I think that was cool, just the way he fucking stopped it. But yeah episode 6 was a good way to kind of it was a good way to transition away from the creepy shit into the rest of the anime. But overall, I'm happy I finished watching it. I'm just upset that the next season isn't all the way out, and I just wish that. Yeah, I do agree. I wish there was less fan service, especially when they're all fucking.
Yeah,
underage.
the fan service is definitely really bad in the first couple episodes, but
Yeah.
it sounds like we had two very, very different opinions this week, which is like the first time we've had
Yeah.
different opinions for
I'm
an
actually
episode.
very surprised that out of the 4, this is the 4th one we watched, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 shows that we've watched, I'm surprised this is the one that's like we're so divided on.
Yeah.
Because like I would have thought that would have been like snafu because I thought it was mid. I remember Aaron kind of liked it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were agreed on quite a bit of stuff with that one. But it's like I'm surprised this is the one that's like Aaron like watched the whole entire show. I never want to watch this show again.
I
So
think it's
yeah.
good, but
I also went in with like I knew it was gonna be fan service. I was like, I'm just gonna try
Well,
to
even
block this out.
I knew like, but it's like Wayne's like it's not that bad. And I'm like okay, like. It
Well, I mean,
could be
I recognize that it was actually I recognize it's really fucking horrible.
Yeah,
I just like
apparently it was
I
really bad.
just like said fuck it. I'm just gonna try and see if I can not deal with this, and
Uh,
I was able to push past a lot of it because it wasn't like every scene was fan servicey. Yes, there were a lot, but it wasn't every scene, thankfully. But
Yeah.
and I guess the other thing is like I know this is the one anime I guess I didn't analyze a shitload. I just wanted to watch it because I heard you talking earlier about like there was a lot of tropes. It was very like you compared it to a lot of other animes. I guess I did a little bit, but I was like, I don't care.
Just
I'll
wanted to
watch
watch it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I just kind of didn't want to really care about analyzing it too much. I just wanted to see how it was.
Yeah, but with that, I mean, two of us really like it. One of us really hates it. But me and Aaron here definitely recommend it if you've never watched it. Again, be warned, the fan service apparently is really bad. Don't listen to my first statement in the first half. The fan service is really bad, not somewhat bad. It's really bad. But
there's a lot.
if you can get past that, personally, me and Aaron think that the story's pretty good. Nathaniel thinks that it's terrible, but you gotta have some mix ups every once in a while.
It does get better after episode 5. The story does kind of progress, and it gets really cool.
I think so too. I think so as well. I think it's
Especially with the
very good
survival
show.
episodes. Those are fucking weird.
Yeah, the survival episodes are weird, but they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get your guys' final opinions on. You guys got to give me your thumbs up, thumbs down, and then your rating.
We already know Nathaniel, so I'll let him go first.
So this is definitely a thumbs down.
Okay.
I don't think
Okay.
I should have whipped out. It's a thumb in the middle, but but no,
Okay.
this is definitely a thumbs down. And like
I saw that one coming.
yeah, if it was like on a 1 to 10 scale, like maybe if you asked me 6 months from now, I might give it like a 3. But currently, as of today, it's like a 0.12.
Oh my god, that bad?
Yeesh.
Oh
Damn.
yeah, no, this is bad.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to give it a flat out 0, but I'm giving it a 0.12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron?
I wouldn't say it's fully a thumbs up. I guess it's like an 80%
You watched the
thumbs
whole
up or some
show.
shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna give it a full because like I was like it was good, but it's not something I would consider S tier. I think
But
it was.
you haven't
Yeah,
watched
yeah.
like
Thumbs up. Thumbs up is probably anything above a 6.
anything like B minus or above words is a thumbs up.
I wouldn't consider that one case though. Just solely because like it was good, but it's not one of those things where it's like, hey, I am really craving watching this anime. I will say yes.
You watched the full show. You haven't watched all Vinland Saga yet. And you gave that like a 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of Vinland Saga because I had to go straight into this shit.
What's the logic behind this?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I couldn't finish Vinland Saga right away anyway because I didn't really. I wanted to watch it. I just got sick and just didn't have time. I want to be able to
You had
focus.
time to watch this piece of shit.
I wasn't sick
Are-
when I was watching this.
Are we
stuff, but
Are we
yeah,
doing a thumbs up or a thumbs in the middle? What are we doing?
I guess I'll thumbs up it
Okay,
just off
thumbs
of
up it.
Nathaniel's
Thank you.
weird
Thank you.
logic. But
Thank you.
if I give it a 1 out of 10, I think I would give it like an 8. It
Okay.
wasn't 10 worthy. I guess I haven't really seen an anime that's fully 10 worthy. I don't remember what I gave Vinland Saga, probably 9 or close to it.
I
But
think you gave it like an
wouldn't.
8.4 or something like that.
Yeah, I think based on the fan service, I'd give this definitely less than Vinland Saga. Probably like just an 8 flat
Okay.
or like a 7.8.
Okay.
Like, I get everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm glad you like it, but
I'm
I
also
don't
not
know how you
hypercritical
giving it an 8.
Yeah, I'm not hypercritical. Like I
we're-
actually,
yeah.
I'm not Gordon fucking Ramsay in the anime scene. I just watch whatever I watch. You know my watch history, so you know that I'm tolerant of certain things.
This
True.
is a guy that put High School DxD as S tier.
I actually didn't. I didn't make it to
I
the
know,
list
I
yet.
know.
Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Better.
Okay.
I guess based on my watch list, though, I'm very tolerant of what is in anime, though.
I am as well. But yeah, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you guys can leave us a review, a like, or a comment, or all three, if you would be so kind, on wherever you are listening via YouTube, Spotify, or Podbean, we would really appreciate it. It does help us grow and make improvements to our podcast. We do really want to improve every single week for you guys so we can put out the best content for all of you. But yeah, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. And always remember, your waifu is trash.